All right. So welcome, Pedro Neves, and we are going to talk a little bit about Facebook ads and how to kind of like structure an ad. And that this is something that I've learned more recently, and I think this is so powerful. Kind of like the 4 or 5 components to put an ad together, or just could be a post, right? Could just be a post on your Facebook page, or to create more engagement, to get more comments. And but the format is specifically guided to an ad, because you want to have the ad structure and such a format to help you the ad perform better, if that makes any sense. So feel free to participate, Julia and Michelle, when you hop in, or who else is there. Number. So let me see if I can grab. Let me maybe grab here. Note a notepad, and let me know if you can see the screen.
I see it.
Awesome.
Right now.
Yeah. Okay. Trying to get the notepad. Okay. Cool. So can you see the notepad? So how
Yes.
to structure an ad or post, right? So first of all, there are a few things that we need to understand. Number one, you need to understand who is that you are talking to, and this is basically your audience, right? Your audience, your perfect customer, and because if you don't know who your audience is, your perfect customer is, you're trying to talk, you might have heard your avatar. And if you don't know who you're talking to, you're talking to one. So I remember when just like when we started network marketing business, right? They tell us to go talk to everybody, like that everybody's our customer. And in reality, it's not true, and I say this example all the time. Would you go and offer a nice juicy steak, great and juicy steak or cheeseburger to a vegetarian? And it's obvious that the vegetarian would be upset and like shoot you, right? It doesn't make sense. So would you offer someone apples to someone who's looking for oranges? No. So bottom line is, you have to understand your audience and who is that they are and what they're looking for. So so you have to know what you're offering, and then based on that, you need to your demographics, their age, where they're from, their pains, so their struggles, what keeps them awake at night, where the desires, their dreams. And so in a really good place to start is, if you don't know, is understanding. It could be you, right? Maybe it was you today, or was you 6 months ago. So and if you're struggling to get customers, generate leads, it's maybe it is where you are right now. So what is some of the things that if you're building a business, and what that you struggle with? So that's a really good place to start. So once you understand that, I mean, we could go on this, but once you understand that, one of the next steps, we're talking about demographics and where they live. You could write the pains on a piece of paper, the pains, the challenges of your customer. Maybe it's just you, right? Challenges their dreams, kind of what I shared earlier before. Um, their you know what their desires, right? Um, their struggles, but you have to be specific. Like so dreams not just I want to become financial independent. That's not enough. So you need to be specific. And a really good thing that we have is our in ignition coaching program that EMP has. It has the SMART goals, and so they go dig deep into this, right? So it's really important you to go through it if you haven't gone. And maybe if you've been, just go through it again, because they really dig deep about what is that you want. It's like your why. If your why is all about making six figures, it's not enough. What would you do with those six figures when making $100,000? Would your life be like every single day? What would you do with the money? How would your life be different? Who would you help? Who where would you go? You know, what would your day look like every day? What time would you get up? What car would you buy? What house would you buy? And then if you did buy the house, or if you do have a dream house, what does it look like? What's the colors inside? I mean, I think I'm trying to convey you a picture to be specific. And this applies as well. I really, the more I talk to people, especially if I'm doing a video, a Zoom to recruit them or whatever, I dig more deep into when they ask me, what is that, oh yeah, I want to make six figures. Okay, what does that mean for you if you generate $100,000 a year? What would your life be different? What would you do? Who do you try to, like, all these things? Because if they're not specific, then they just imaginary. And then it's important to write them down. Because when you write them down, then when you're making a post, an ad, you already know what the struggles are, so it's a lot easier to you to put it together. And then there's benefits and features. So which is this could be hours of training, but I just want to give you a little overall. So once you have that down, is this helpful so far?
Yes, very helpful.
Awesome. Then then the next step, so to put an ad together, is so the first thing, or post, the first thing you want to do creating an ad, is you want to identify, I'm a bad speller, identify the problem. A problem or a problem. Could be a problem. All right. Identify a problem. And it could be with a question. You could use a question. You could use a question. You could use a statement. But it has to be punchy, and you have to grab people's attention, because you have about maybe 3 to 5 seconds, right? A goldfish, I think, their attention span is about 8 seconds, and apparently human beings are even less nowadays. So people on the news feed, especially Facebook, they're just going through. So there's a few things that grabs people's attention, which is important. It's an image, and then it could be the headline, and then it's the copy, that first few sentences, maybe the first couple of sentences. You got to grab people's attention. So a question is really important to, I have an ad that's running, and one of the questions I ask is, has your upline ever told you something like this? Ever told you that everyone is your prospect, right? This is a true statement, right? They're gonna say yes. and then I go something like this. Well, but then, oh, I don't know what just happened. So question has your upline ever told you that everyone is your prospect? But then you realize, or you discover, and then the power of words. And I know, Julia, you go into the you were just said you were about to jump into that training. What's it called again? Say that again.
Copywriters Guild.
Yes, right. And they talk about powerful words to use. So, like, you can use, but then you realize, right? You realize it's people realization, realize, or discover, realize. Or so there's powerful words that you can use, realize or discover, right? It's also a really powerful word. This. Then you realize or discover that most people you talk to, most people, and this is not perfect here, I don't even know, most people you're talking to, aren't interested in your business or product or service, right? I mean, isn't this happens? So what happens is I stated a problem, and then the next step, or it could be a statement or question, that aren't interested in your product or business, product or service or whatever. So I think you get the picture. Then and then I go on to say, and then so basically you want to state a problem. Could be usually a pain, or pain or a benefit, but a pain usually grabs people's attention, and people tend to relate immediately. And when you use the people, you has your prospect, or have you been told that by your upline that everyone is your prospect. So when you tell someone, use the word you, by default, people gravitate to it. So it's different than using, I used to think that everyone is my prospect. It doesn't, it's not as punchy. So the words are important. So I know, Julia, you're going to start that training course, and it's really powerful because it talks about words in our in the EMP, our coaching program, and talking about when you do an ad, when you're using more words of I versus you, people don't care about you. People care, but they don't really care. So they always care what's in it for them. So by you, and you may start a conversation, a statement with I, but then you want to flip it around into them. So use more you than them. Just don't make claims, okay? This is a biggie, because if you start making claims about many claims, Facebook could see it as doesn't like that, and they can shut down your account. So make sure you are very familiar with Facebook policies, okay? So going back to the point, you want to use a question or a statement, okay? And so those are really two really good that I've noticed to grab people's attention. Then you want to the next step is then the next step, you want to drill the problem, right? A little bit. You want to dig deeper. And it could be just like I said here. Then you realize that you discover that most people you're talking to aren't interested in your product or service opportunity. And then you can even relate. And then you can relate, well, or I don't remember what I did. So instead of me trying to, I'll show you here this ad, because this ad has actually gotten pretty good results. It's not perfect, not a perfect ad, but I'll show it to you
What
here.
ad?
Huh?
What ad is perfect?
Right? So when I went to, I digged a little deeper. I think I remember now what I said. Actually, I'll just bring it up. It's true. No ad is perfect. Well, their ads are pretty good, right? The ones that are making um, 6 figures, and that's all this is. I mean, it is. You can tweak an ad, and in the beginning, may not getting the results that you want, but then as you could tweak it and optimize it, it's called, based on some numbers, you can make it a one ad could make you $100,000. That's what EMP is teaching us. So then I dig deeper a little bit here. In fact, my sponsor insisted in this prospecting method, right? But there was just one problem. So what people see, and I make this at a very, I do this in the way this ad shows up is is very specific, right? There's a strategy behind this, because I want people to know, to be curious. Oh, what's the problem? So I want people to click. So and then I dig a little bit deeper. It turns out they made me feel like a total loser, right? I mean, talking to people and was wasting my time, made me feel like a car salesman, because people feel like that, right? Who doesn't feel like a salesperson every time, we're reaching out to family and friends, and we just, when people keep turning us down, and no one likes to be sold. So it just, I just digged a little deeper. I felt like a total loser, especially when I was prospecting friends and family, right? And then I bring him into, right? Then I bring him back into the picture here, like, so they can come back into making, so they can feel that's them. So I'm talking about me in a story, but I'm really talking about them. So can you relate, right? I'm Have you felt this way, right? So this is just some words. Have you ever felt this way? Has this ever happened to you, right? So I just happened to use can you relate? And then I went to say, oh, the crazy thing is, once I stopped treating everybody like a prospect, and I learned these 5 steps to sponsor more people, my business started to grow. And then I give them a little link here. This is something that I actually optimized this ad. I didn't have this link here. And so I tell them where to go. Then the next step is, so in an ad, so you want to state the question, you want to state the problem, you can use a question or a statement, and then you want to dig a little deeper. So you want to, dig deep into the pain. Twist that pain, make them like, don't go over the top. Then you want to relate or validate. Actually, this is like validating. I think validate. You only want to relate or empathize, right? Empathize. You want to empathize. Like you could say, has this ever happened to you? Or I know what you mean. It happened to me for 3 years or for 5 years. I struggled to, for the past 3 years or 5 years. I struggled for the past 6 months until I stumbled. Then you have a discovery, all right? Then you say the discovery is a solution. It's a discovery or a solution, right? And if you notice here, where is it? If you notice here, then I had a discovery. Oh, well, I'm not telling I did. I'm telling them that the discovery is here. The moment I stop treating everybody like a prospect, that's a discovery. And then I create and I tell them, I built some curiosity. Go check it out if you want to learn. And because you're going to discover, this is the discovery, right? This is what they will learn. So you got to tell them what they're going to learn, but you just don't tell them what it is. Because if you tell them what it is, then they're not going to the ad. That's just, they don't need to. You already told them. So you got to, get them curious. You got to get them curious and tell them to take the next step. And then I tell them, go ahead, this is your call to action. So after the discovery, you don't tell them what it is. You just tell them, so then in discovery or solution, right? There's a solution, and you discover a solution that created you some results or whatever. You can put a result, and then you tell them the CTA, which is a call to action. Your call to action. And this is interesting because I didn't know this, right? People like to be told what to do, just like children, even adults. Because if you don't tell them what to do, they won't do it. People get confused. And also, and you have to be very clear with your message. And I'll give you a couple of tips here, and I think Julia knows about this, where you can actually break down, or you want to keep your ad in the readability has to be about a 5 or 6 grade level. However, you may be thinking, Pedro, but my avatar has a higher level education, or has college education, and they read, they went to college and blah blah blah. Well, it doesn't matter, because what really matters, the reason why you want to speak to write to a 4 or 5 grade school student, is because your people's unconscious and pains and desires, the subunconscious, they are at the 4th and 5th reading level. So you want to keep it really easy to read. And if you look here too, when you put an ad, when you post, don't crumble all your stuff. All right, always make it really easy. See, I left spaces, and now I started using double space. And if you see here in my first 2 sentences, it's only a single space. But then I go on to a double space because this is below the fold. So below the fold means that right here, below the product and services, people have to click to see more. And then I open it up to a double space because it's even easier to read. But they only really see the first 2 sentences. This is a strategy that I learned from somebody else. I saw him making like, this makes sense. I'm going to start doing this. So anything that you do to keep it simple, keep your sentences short, not long, because if they're too long, they become, it's harder to read. And when it's harder to read, people move away. Okay? So it's your call to action. So I tell them, right here, click on the button to learn more. And then, if people don't want to click the button, or they didn't want to click this link here, which brings them to my blog post, I give them another option here. By put a little urgency for a limited time, you can comment more info below, and I'll personally connect you with via Messenger, and I'll share with you what's working so well for me. I just optimized this ad a few days ago. And as you see here, I already have a few people commenting more info. And the cool thing is, which is something for different training, I have all this in automation. Now people get personal messages from me, and then all these people actually have a schedule on my calendar to hop on a Zoom call. I don't even messenger them. It goes automatically on with ManyChat. I have this set up. And this is truly how automation that you can set up sometimes to really free up your time. And you really only be talking to people that really really qualify them. They qualify themselves to, first of all, they read the ad, Secondly, if they don't opt in or they don't go to the ad, to the blog post, they have to make a comment. Then I take them through the really small steps to get them to agree, always on agreeable mode, to get jump on a Zoom set, on a call, and I pre-framed them here, right? For a limited time means that I don't have all this time for that, and I'm only going to do this for a short period of time. If they comment more info, I'll personally connect with them and share with them what's working well for me, so they know. They already have a pre sense of understanding that I'm going to share with it. I'm going to have to share with them, and in order to do that, it's not going to be like really over the phone, right? There's going to be something a different way. So anyway, so I pre-framed that, and anyway, so but the what I really wanted to share with you today, guys, is really how to put this ad together, which is really identifying the problem, using a question mark statement, and then you want to dig deep into the pain and validate it. And it doesn't have to be long. Then you want to empathize, and you want to provide a discovery or solution and a call to action. And this is really the format that people are using in all ads. And what I suggest you do as well is when you go through the news feed, um, look at the ads, but more importantly, look at the ads that have a lot of likes or have a lot of engagement. And sometimes you might see the ad keep popping up on the news feed. That tells you, and read it. Use this formula and start identifying what other people are doing. And then even save those ads. Don't copy them. You can save them in a copy file, a swipe copy file. Or actually, what I've been doing, I've been saving them on Facebook. When you see an ad, you can actually save it. I have several of them. I don't know if anybody
You know
knew
what?
this.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, cool.
I do the same thing just because I don't know. I don't know. I have never put like an ad together, so I don't really know the formula. So this is helpful. But getting other people's ideas, is something good to go off of.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you might take a few words, you may take just the idea, and then when you're putting an ad together, you may have go reference sometimes the format. But this is really the format. If I'll share with you another, this is a little bit. This is like a medium copy. You can do this in 3 or 4 statements. And Fernie has done some training on this, and and I'm not sharing with you. I mean, I don't have a perfect. Actually, I have an ad that's pretty close to perfect, but it's not this one. But this one too here. This is something that I wrote the other day. This is more a long copy, and it's about scripts. And I've done this several testing, optimizing, and it's getting. Today has gotten leads about $2 and something a lead. This is a little bit more of a long copy, but if you quickly go through it, the format is the same. So the format really will help you. And again, this is it's a learning copy, and learning copy is probably, and I identified this about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. Learning copy is one of the probably the most important skill you can learn as a marketer, because once you develop that skill, you can go and market any product or service and any platform. Now the platforms may be different, but the way you communicate, the way you put a message together, it doesn't change. That's been around for years. And I was listening to a training. I was listening to a training about this yesterday.
Is that your background noise, Pedro?
And I think it is my dog. Hold on. Sorry. Can you? It won't take much longer. Alexander, go see mommy. Hi. So if let's really look here closely at this one. I wrote this one. This is all my copy here. So there's a lot of it, right? So I started this with a statement. I remember the excitement when my upline told me about how easy and effective the three-way calls would be, right? To soon realize the problem of setting up the calls between family, friends, and cold prospects. So I kind of like identify the problem, and then I bring them in. So they only see up to here, up the cold prospects. See, then I only leave a space, and then it goes into two spaces, because if I left them only one space, it would show. So I purposely set it up this way. So it kind of like makes people click if they want to read more. And then I go on to say, and then I dig the problem, right? I can kind of actually validate the problem again, right? I kind of like stick the knife into their, into their pains. Well, it's a pretty awkward process, right? And it's conversational, right? If you see, I think you would agree it's conversational. It felt like I was my upline secretary, Payne. I spent all day back and forth coordinating the calls, followed by the last-minute texts and the lame excuses of the no-shows. That's a pretty pain, right? How many of us had that problem? You have.
Yep.
Right? Then then having my upline sometimes screw up the calls by going on a personal tangent, causing my prospect to lose interest in the business. This happened to me. I've had 20 calls, 20 sometimes when I was doing, these calls, cold prospecting, and I would have a three-way call. Michelle, is it you in the background?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh
That's
no, I
better.
don't. Do you want me to? Here, I can unmute. I can mute myself back up.
Okay, that's better. Maybe I think maybe the TV or something. So then I would spend all this time back and forth. So, and this happened to me because, again, I'm continuing to drill a little on the problem. So because my on this note here, my upline would screw up the calls by going on a personal tangent. He used to talk about himself instead about the prospect. The prospect is what we need to focus. But this is what he would do, and because it's all about him. And he was a six-figure earner. I don't understand when I look back. And so this is a problem, because it happens. So then, if you ever felt this way, right? Believe me, I get it, right? See, I bring them in. So if you see here, I talked a little bit about me. I identify the problem. I validate the problem. I stick that knife, and then I draw them in the game, into their. I make them feel they go into the experience. Have you felt this way? Believe me, I get it. But thanks to these proven copy strategies, messenger scripts, everything changed. So I'm building curiosity, and then I give them a link, right? Give them a link here to go ahead and check the capture page, and then I go on. Prior to using these, a little bit more pain. Prior to using them, I would spend 20. I would go over. Prior to using them, meaning the scripts, I had weeks with over 20 three-way calls, and no one would sign up. Felt like I was putting so much energy, work, and nothing would work. Can you relate, right? Now, this is a story, so this doesn't go to a blog post. I want them to stay. But every step of the way has another step. Now, you don't feel like you have to write this. This takes a little bit more understanding and more, it's harder to write long copy. But you can make this in 3 or 4 sentences. Like the other one that I showed you earlier is so much smaller, but the format is exactly the same. It just it's a different ad here. So I go on to keep talking about a few different things. I talk about like we just so then I'll talk about a little bit about discovery, right? In today's day and age, we discovered that three-way calls are an inconvenience, right? This is what's happening today to your upline, to us, to your prospect. I even joke around, right? Your prospect attention span is small, it's short, just like my 2-year-old. And so I don't want to keep going too much on, keep reading this, but basically then I actually tell them that these have been so helpful that I actually a prospect a six-figure earner using this, which was true. This is a little bit more down. I also in the long test copy, I kind of it's a little more technical here. There's a little more thought into this because I actually overcome a little bit of an objections here. It's probably, I don't know what it is now. Where do I share this? So I basically answer here an objection. They may have an objection here. In fact, the conversation become awkward and time-consuming and ineffective. I know what you're thinking. So basically here, there's an objection here. I kind of tried to put an objection in to answer an objection because they'd be thinking, well, that's what my upline told me. You know, this is what I've been taught, right? So you can overcome an objection that to go in people's minds by your copy. So that's what my intention here was trying to do. I know what you're thinking. That's what your upline told you to do, right? Well, I hear you. So did I. But there's an easier and better way. So don't worry, I got you covered. So I'm on their side. So this is a little tricky, but the point is it's all the same. Then I go and tell them what the benefit is, right? So if you still, so I'm going back to right here. So problem, statement, discovery. I dig into the pain. I empathize with them, and I did a discovery, and then I call to action, right? And that's right here. And I give them the benefit, which is what they will get if they get the scripts. The exact word, if they're still reading this, and if they want the scripts and what they're going to do for them, even if they're brand new, even if they never got results, go get and grab them, and I'll send them right over to them. So, and then I give them another option. They can send me a messenger, and I give them a link here to share. But you know, I don't have a lot of. This is a new ad. I don't have. It's only seen 1,300 people. But people opting in, and which is really what I want to anyway. Those are just two different examples of how you can really use this format, how to put an ad together.
Here, I'm going to do a screenshot of that. I changed location, so I'm going to just do a screenshot because I know you have this recorded.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm going to just do it so I kind of just have it right now because I don't know how soon you'll post this or whatever. But
yeah, sure. Feel free to do that.
But oh, hold on. Here, do me a favor and minimize your notebook, right? Your notepad for a second.
Minimize?
Minimize your notepad so I can get the rest of that sentence.
Which one?
Your notepad. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, that's my notepad. Just kidding. I'm using my notepad, too. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you were taking notes on yours. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay, give me just one. I've got that
let me put
capture thing on my desktop. Now, so are those, okay, so tell me what kind of ads, because an engagement ad is basically like what, like a quote or something, right?
Well, an engagement, so Facebook has, so when you run an ad, it's always by the objective, right? So
okay.
Facebook has different ads. So let's.
So what would you call yours? Yours is
well, this one that I'm running is this one that I'm running is the one I'm running is a conversion ad.
Oh, conversion, okay.
But for a conversion ad, you need to have your own
website? No?
You need your own website, you need to have a pixel, and you need to have your own funnel. So you need to have your own you need to have your own capture page.
Okay.
So it's a little more advanced. For example, you know what I mean, to run a conversion ad. Now you could put a link in here, not having a conversion ad, but having just could be a traffic ad. But you won't be able to do a conversion because a conversion need a pixel. A pixel, you know, I mean, it's a whole different training. But I created this capture page, so you know, so there's a convert. That's how I'm using. I can, because when people click on it, I send them the information. It's my funnel. I created it. So, but you can create. So basically, there's a few different types of, especially for the purpose of us marketers. You have an engagement ad, so different types of ads, and this all comes down to what is your purpose? What is that you want Facebook to do? So you can use an engagement ads, and I can turn that ad into an engagement ad. Okay, and this is where, guys, a lot of this training is it's under VIP. It's you have all the trainings that you really need.
I know. I've actually just gone back and just revisited that, just because it's been a while. And I went to the LA event.
Okay, cool, awesome.
And I was hoping that it would be more like what you're doing, but it wasn't. So I'm just kind of circling back around to the basics.
Okay, I'm glad that this is helpful.
Yeah, no, it's very helpful. So yeah.
Awesome. So so we have an engagement ad. An engagement ad, basically what you're telling Facebook to do. Okay, you're telling Facebook that you want, right? That you want comments, you want likes. This is basically, you want likes and comments.
Right.
That's what you're telling Facebook to do. Okay, this is what you want. If you want clicks, meaning people go into your website, you know, if you want clicks, then you need a traffic ad. And this could be
like a blog post?
A blog post.
Okay.
A blog post. So if so I could make any of those ads a conversion ad too. I mean, a traffic ad. And what happens is Facebook optimizes your ad to show it to people they're more likely to click. The clickers. Let's call them clickers. Let's put my ad in front of clickers. Now, the clickers doesn't mean they may not necessarily mean they're the best. They convert more into conversions, right? They don't opt in, but there are a lot of people that like to click. So basically, Facebook understands your behavior. They know your behavior. They know what you do, and so knowing what you do, if you tend to click more versus opt in emails,
right?
They're gonna click you. They're gonna show your ad more to people. The best ad that you can run is a conversion ad. Okay, the conversion ad, because Facebook is going to optimize your ad to people that are more likely to put their information, their name and email for exchange or something. Now,
okay, so is that though directed to your audience, or are you talking do that to like people that have liked your page? Either or?
Either or. Great question.
Okay.
Yeah, either or. So then when you and we can do this another time, when you go into Facebook ads, right, and you're going to create an ad, then you're going to be able to select all of this.
Right.
Right. And I'll just show here kind of the objectives. And then there's also the, running an engagement. If you want to, let's go back here actually. If you want to have, was I doing an ad before? Start over. If you want to run like a likes ad, so it's an engagement ad, right? A like. So an engagement is, and you can actually click here, right? And tells you, basically an engagement ad gets more engagements, page likes, events, responses, or offer claims. So when you click on it, then you have the option, and understand that this feature, Facebook is always changing. So this video today, in 6 months from now, might be different. Like the way your back office looks,
Right.
or my back office may look different than yours because they are always constantly updating. But the bottom line is the same, which is an engagement. And then here, if you want to get more fans, you're gonna choose page likes. That means you're gonna pour and that's a different type of ad.
I feel like Ed talked to us, like, I don't know, it's probably in the files in our group,
Yes.
about doing, was it more like an engagement ad and using that versus a likes campaign?
So a likes campaign is the whole purpose of a likes campaign is designated for people to like your fan page.
Okay.
That's all it is. And it should be like one sentence, very straight to the point with an image.
Right, right.
And then an engagement ad is more for people to comment and drop comments. So if you want leads too.
But didn't he say, okay, so if people do that though, then do you go and invite them to like your page? Was that kind of the advantage of that?
Yeah. So so there is a strategy, and I actually was using it.
I'm kind of going off of my vague memory, but I feel like that was something that he was telling us, that he was recommending.
Yeah, there's always different strategies.
Yeah.
There is. I was actually using. I don't know what this. I actually just shut it off today. Because there's some guy that. So you can create. I know what you're saying. I think you can create an ad with an image, and actually, if I go here, if I would show it, it'll be easier. You can create an ad that it's for an engagement, and with a quote, with just a different strategy.
Yeah.
And the people will like it, and then you invite them to like your fan page.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Okay, find that. Are you looking for that ad? Are you trying to find something? Let me go grab my phone. I'm waiting for my son to call me, but I'm gonna go grab my phone real quick.
Yes.
While you're pulling that up.
I'll see if I find it.
Hi, Deborah. Oh. Okay.
Not sure why it's not showing.
Because I think that the cost was like, wasn't it less or something? I can't remember like what the whole caveat of that was.
So, here's the truth. You have to test, Michelle, because at the end of the day, you could have just a likes campaign ad performing really, really cheap, or you can also create an ad like an engagement ad with a quote and have tons of shares. I mean, this one was I had 40. I spent $20. I don't know why it's not showing up, and I had over 40 shares, over 200 likes. And then I invited people to like my fan page.
Okay.
But I just shut it down because I actually will show you the image. And I just shut it down because the reason was some guy, two people, tagged themselves on the post. It's an ad, and said they were with me. And I'm like,
shoot.
What? Like, how does Facebook even allow that to happen? So I shut it down because I'm like, and I should have reported them, but I didn't do it, and I just I don't know what
Were they spamming your ad, or like what was their purpose? Just to get more like?
I think they were trying to get exposure because they were basically tagged. They said they were with me on that post. It's like you go into dinner or something and you go with your friends and you tag them.
Yeah.
they were with you.
Oh well.
That's what was showing up. Says they were with me. I'm like, with me? I don't even know these people.
Yeah. Well.
So I just shut off the ad. I just have to go back.
Wait, couldn't you delete that though, or no?
I tried to untag me,
And oh
but
yeah, yeah.
but is the image here? Let me see. Image.
Oh, they tagged you? They tagged you, or what? Like.
Yeah, they just tag themselves. They tag themselves.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where they have the image. I have so many images. I have to sometimes go through them but basically it was just an image with a quote and
Mm-hmm.
you know I can see I don't know. But that's an alternative. That's just a different ad. But yeah, so that's just a different ad. But understand that the ads that you have option is you want to do to get likes. You can do an engagement ad, or you can just a likes campaign. But if you want to have posts, for leads, you can use engagements for comments, and then to drive people to a website or to a capture page, you can also do. And this is more if you don't control your
Yeah.
website.
Right.
So if you're using Lead Marketing Pro and you're new, you haven't created a funnel, which is
Right.
this is exactly what they encourage you to start,
Right.
is to run these ads. And then a conversion ad is more sophisticated. It's more, you have to have a better understanding, and you have to create a funnel. And it's not complicated, but until you get to know it, the process, it can be a little, there's different steps to it.
Well, that's what Fernie was saying there. Is he's like, well, why would you? Because somebody had asked that question. And he's like, well, why would you take the time to set up all that when you can just direct them from our blog posts? Which I mean, you still get leads.
Right.
You're still getting people looking at your stuff. So I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and this is it's a great point. What I discovered was, Michelle, is that here's what happens to anyone that's new comes into the online world, right? Doesn't matter if it's EMP, doesn't matter. It's we don't know how all this works. We don't know all the pieces. And what EMP is awesome is about you taking you every step of the way until you're ready to take the next step. So the first thing we need to do is learning how to put an ad together, right? Some of the things we're talking about here. Then it's like, what different ads can you run? And then how to match the traffic. And if you don't know how to match the traffic to generate traffic to a blog, to a capture page, you're not gonna get results. I mean, there's always the steps, and then you got to follow up with them. You got to send them emails. So, and you're ready for that. So, first of all, they want you to do is match the traffic. Once you start generating leads, and you feel comfortable with that, maybe then it's time to start. The next step would be you to create a duplicate, right? Because it's already done for you. You just duplicate the funnels that EMP have, right? And you just then duplicate them. But now you're already comfortable with driving traffic. Now you can if you have an ad that's already getting results, you can basically turn that ad, a traffic ad, into your ad, into a conversion ad. You just have to have your own your one website, your own capture page, and we have training for that. And I mean, as you know, I think you were VIP, right?
Yeah.
You have all the training that we need under VIP. As a matter of fact, I didn't understand the value of VIP until I became Elevation.
Oh, okay.
So, obviously.
I've kind of, honestly, I've just been down. I really haven't gotten serious. And I started a year ago, actually, the end of this month. And I'm like, wow. So now I'm like, okay, I really, I mean, I know enough to know what to do. I just haven't done it. And I think I was just like a little bit intimidated by trying to run ads because, you hear all the horror stories and everything. But I'm like, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to like fail. But if I can just know the basics, like what you just showed. So like, did you like look into like a copywriting course like the one that we have, and like, or like a story, how to write stories? Story
So,
post?
so my suggestion is, I mean, you're a VIP. You pretty much have all that you need to get started and above and beyond. You can
Mm-hmm.
become a six-figure earner just with the VIP,
I know.
but they have all the, I mean, there are so many trainings and understanding the metrics and how to put Fernie has, how to put, even as copy. You have copy
Yeah.
that Fernie already has done for you. You can just
Right.
make it, you can just tweak it and make it your own. So you can put your own experience in there, your own life experience, and make it more personal. So, and that's what really makes the difference between, because and your own image, right? And so at this point, I wouldn't suggest you, Michelle, says, Michelle, go read this book or go.
Yeah.
I would say, I think if you, being a VIP, you have more than enough to get started and really start getting you some results. And then if you
Right.
say, you know what, I've been this, now I want to learn more copy. Yes, then there's trainings available in the EMP, or you can download books, audios. You can you can buy books, you can buy trainings. EMP has more trainings on that. So, but I think you got to understand, you or anybody like me, you have to understand first the basics and
Right.
how to put an ad together, and how to drive traffic, and just be comfortable with that and start getting
Yeah.
some results.
Well, and I think that's my problem, is just that I like totally overlooked it. I got sidetracked on so many different things, and I've been a student for way too long that now it's like, okay, I know enough that I need to know.
Yeah.
I just need to start applying it.
Yeah.
And just go back to step one. So I've been going back through the videos and kind of taking notes and trying to figure out what I have to do, because I think as soon as I do it and put it in place,
Yeah.
it's like I can study all day, every day, for another year if I have to. But it's like I need to start putting things into action, and that's my lack right there, is just not being. Hi, Julia.
I was trying to say, in the Begin to Win series, we teach that when you do the VIP only training, you start at the top and you go in that order. They put it.
Yeah. I know. And I got that packet that they sent out, and I was like, oh, I didn't really read it. And I started reading, and it's like, do this step one, do this step two. I'm like, oh, well, okay, yeah, we know that. But it's like, you just want to go from the beginning to the end and skip everything else in the middle. And it's like, oh, okay, well, no wonder why it, didn't make sense. I kind of forgot the most important part of what to do.
So that's a great point, Julia. Thanks for. I mean, Julia is the rock star of the MT about, and she knows the platform better than me, probably the back office and all that, because she teaches it. So kudos to you. Anyway, she volunteers and she does this, so that's awesome, by the way. But the probably the first thing is the thing that most people, and Julia, I think, would agree with me, is people would put more to the side and think it's not important, is knowing who you're talking to, knowing your audience, knowing your customer, knowing your
avatar, your target market.
Your target market. And so there is trainings on that under VIP too. But obviously, I just briefly talked about it here.
Yeah.
But to have a better understanding, you have access to that. But that is the most powerful thing you can do. And in under Elevation, I'm sharing here some secrets, right, Julia? It's okay, right? One of the first things it tells us to do is write our avatar and post it. So just go ahead and do it and practice.
Well, I know. I mean, for me, it's going to be just like fresh eyes, just act like I don't know, like forget everything that I thought I knew and just start over and just be like, just follow the basics. And I know that's like probably the biggest thing that's like holding me back. And I don't know, it's the little things. It's just like, well, why am I so afraid to do this? I know what I'm doing. I don't know.
Empty your cup.
Yeah. For sure, because I got involved in this, and at the same time I started something else, and it was like the whole shiny object. It's like, okay, now I need to figure out what the heck I'm doing. It's like I can spend money, but it's like I need to start making money.
Yeah,
Crazy concept.
you're not alone, Michelle. We all go through it, and you know, it's just, and sometimes then we have a realization, right? We discover these things. Oh, you know, and Ray Higdon. I mean, I'm sure you know Ray Higdon. You follow him, and he talks about this. We all think we know things that we really don't know unless we do it and we get results.
Yeah.
So we might go through, you know, the trainings once, twice, but if we're not putting them into action, so go through
Hmm.
it. You know what? Start with the likes campaign first. That's probably that's what EMP teaches. The first thing you need to do is start with a likes campaign because it's the easiest ad to do. And you
Yeah, I
start.
did that one and then I stopped. I mean, I got enough to what I mean, I don't know. I got my likes campaign. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I need to, but I know that like Ed will say just always run the like, or even Fernie, always run the likes campaign, right? Just keep that
Always.
running.
Yeah.
But
Because that's what builds your audience initially until
yeah.
your audience starts skyrocketing, that maybe then you have organic likes just coming in every day, then you don't
Hmm.
need to. Julia, I think your audio is, we can't hear you.
Top leaders are still running likes campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So awesome.
I was going to ask you something else. I can't remember. Oh, no. So basically, what is it? Jack of all trades and a master of none. Because you think you like know everything and you do want to do everything, and it's like, okay, well, I can be really good at a lot of things, but I just need to focus on like at least one or two.
Yeah. You know, so we have one of the workshops they taught us this, and it's something that I thought was awesome. I mean, I'm like, I'm a multitasker. I can do all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently there's some research and it's evidence-based that people are us that we're trying to do multiple things at once. We tend to do none, or the results are substantially less.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so you know, maybe you're multitasking, right? Trying to do laundry, just even daily life things, cooking, doing a little laundry, taking care of like what happens, you don't accomplish any of them. Maybe you if you're cooking, maybe you finish cooking, but you don't put the laundry away, you don't do this. So focus on one thing at a time. So
Yeah.
if you're going to create an ad or just take half
Always
hour
busy,
and
but nothing gets done.
yes. So Block and Ed talked about this even before. We got into elevation. Is that uh, put 15, 20, right? He talks about the 15-minute increments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and block that and focus on those tasks, on one task at a time, and focus on the task that you can accomplish faster, because then actually that gives you the feeling of, oh, I did this, oh, I did
Yeah.
that, wow, I did a lot. And if you started with the biggest task, you're like, oh man, today was a waste of my time. So just having that feeling, and that can encourage you to do more.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, and I follow so many different people. It's like, I don't know if you guys have the same feeling. It's like, well, who do I follow? Everybody's so good, and I've got all these mentors.
Yeah,
It's
I
like I just
stopped.
want to learn. I just want to soak it up and just learn a lot of things. But it's like I don't know.
I started blocking them, a lot of them. I used to
Yeah.
follow more, and now I just kind of zoomed in. How's been your experience, Julia?
Well, I had to unsubscribe from a lot of things. You hear
Yeah.
me? I had to unsubscribe from so many things because my emails were I had 5,300 emails in my box, and I had to sit and go through all of that. And I was unsubscribed to so many different ones. And I just stick with the ones that can help me now with my business. I can always go back to those others later on and
Yeah.
Well
Oh,
said.
I hear you. Yeah. I don't know.
For sure.
Well,
For
cool.
sure.
Well, I will work on what you just shared. I appreciate that. And I'll go back to the basics, the VIP basic stuff. But really, I mean, all I need to do is just start getting leads and just start talking to more people. And that's really what I just need to do, is just like share a blog post and just start running that way. Because I mean, the story ones are good, but I don't really know
I
like how to
yeah.
craft my story.
I wouldn't suggest, like, you or anyone that's new jump into these long copy
Okay.
stories. There is a training. There is one. I mean, if you wanted to, I know Justice Egan. He was
Yeah.
my coach before I got into this. That's really how I learned. Sometimes I still go back to these trainings. That's where he taught me. And then obviously coming into, but I did them, but I didn't really understand them.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
now that now I understand them. Now I understand why he did this and did that. And now sometimes I go back and listen to them. I'm like, okay, all right. I can always keep learning, going back to
Yeah.
those trainings, because now I have a better understanding the
Right.
sequence and the process. But it's mastering the skill, and you got to keep doing it. So you got to fail many times to create. You got to have one ad and you tweak it, optimize it, change different pictures.
Yeah.
Those ads I shared with you, I've tweaked them already many times. And they're probably not where they need to be to scale them to then to really make what I want them to make.
Yeah.
But the power is you can submit your ads to also to the traffic calls,
Right.
and they can review them. And that's the power. I mean that can change everything for you.
Yeah.
For sure, on any of us.
And I'll give you my experience from this week. My likes ad, I'm only doing $1 a day right now, and it was $2.79 per like. And I got on because we get some traffic calls on our own here, and I got on with Whit on Tuesday, and he showed me what I needed to change my audience, and I got it down to 70 cents a like now.
To how much?
70 cents a like.
70 cents.
Same thing. It just optimized it, right?
Well, I found out I had it right over, and I was so smart in what I did.
Say that again.
So smart in what I set it up, and then he showed me where I could make improvement.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the power of having more hands-on. But that's the thing. Like we sharing stuff here that we had to invest a lot, and to so we can share. And I'm happy to because I want to help everybody. That so I'm excited that you guys jump on and Julia and that and I'll post this in the group. Because this is going to be can help somebody else. Sometimes just these little things. Just structuring that ad. It's like wow. Oh, okay, that's how they do it, and it gives you a format, a template. Then you have a guidance. To go by.
So what do you mean when you say optimize? Like what is this? What is the shift on optimizing? Does that mean change something, or what?
Do you want to answer that, Julia?
We did on mine. I changed because I had a very narrow age range. I changed some of the audiences I was going for. I took out some of the names of people that I had in there and narrowed it down to one audience. But the big thing was I had set it to be for friends of people who had liked my page, so that I thought, well, they'll have that endorsement that their friends liked it. But that made my number of people available so small that it was going through that group of people so quickly that the same people were seeing that over and over.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't do the friends of that like my page because you don't know if their friends are in business, right? And I thought about that before. I'm like, well, why? So I would just stick solely to people that have liked my page because chances are they're going to be more solid than random people.
Well, since this was a likes campaign, I had to exclude people that liked my page. So it's 1,000 people that it's going to work on now.
There you go.
26,000 when I started with him, and this brought me up to 180,000 people after I made those changes.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
You need big audiences nowadays. Facebook likes big audiences, like 200, 300, 400,000 on a likes campaign is advisable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you run one, just keep that in mind, and you can easily do it. It's not. Just pick the right. Yeah.
Okay, just real quick, and you'll probably want to wrap this up. But okay, back to the story ad. What are you sending them to? Because I just feel like if I just look on and I find somebody else that's already done a story ad and just kind of change it up, what is my call to action? Like, where am I sending them to?
So again, a story ad could be, I mean, people use story ads for all different reasons. Could be people do them to jump into webinars, right? People do it like the one I'm running is they go directly to a capture page.
Okay.
You can just do it for comments. So if you want comments, you're gonna do the story is the same.
Okay.
So if you have a conversion ad, you're gonna have some links in there because you need a conversion, you need the link, but just for you, just to keep it simple, I would number one, I would stay away from stories, long stories, because it's a process. It's harder, right, Julia? Would you agree?
But I can tell you one place that you can read a story every day, see how they segue from the story into the call to action. Vitaly, the emails he sends every day, many of them have a story. And so you start at the beginning thinking, how is he going to get this to relate? And you can see how he relates it to, and this is why you need to go read this article, or this is why you need to go do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's great. So reading Vitaly's EMP's emails, they're structured in the same format. They ask you a question, they make a statement, they drill the pain, or Vitaly uses everyday life. He's awesome at this. I mean, he's a master copywriter, and he then turns it around, transitions into something else, and says, hey, if you want to learn more, check it out. So never not being salesy, but telling them what to do. So check it out. Click to learn more. That's just those call to actions. If you want to know more, drop a comment. And I will reach out to you. Kind of like what I mentioned when I was sharing the ads.
His emails might be a little longer than you want to put in an ad, but you can still learn the method from reading his.
Exactly.
Okay, so his emails then is the story that you're saying that he's telling, that I could turn into possibly an ad, but then just find out like what his call to action is, how he segues that in. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
How he tells the stories, what he does in them, and the email profit machine is the product where he goes in depth. There's an hour-long training in there on that. Which
you have access to that.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the elite mark. It's part of the VIP.
The VIP section. One. Okay.
Yeah, it's a trend traffic machine. Actually, the trend traffic machine teaches you everything you need to know about setting up conversions and all of this. I mean, it's an extensive course.
Oh, no kidding! I didn't even know that.
By Tim Herway, yeah. That course probably is worth $400 or $500.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting fresh, so I guess this will be a better year than last year. I just messed around. I don't want to say wasted a lot of time. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's never too late to get started, I guess.
Exactly.
The one for an hour is the ultimate email profit machine, and it's a 1 hour long training. I think it was an Insider they did at one point. And so you can get that 1 hour content where he tells you all that I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Insider?
No.
Are those
the ultimate email profit machine?
Is that a course then, or a course in our VIP? Okay.
Over in your products, you have to click products and go over.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go through and view some stuff.
It comes with a VIP, Julia. Okay, she knows more about. She knows. We have everything, so I don't know which is included in which. Okay. But she knows because she teaches this. Awesome. Thanks.
Julia, I'm sorry I missed your stuff. What days do you do this on? Like Mondays or Tuesdays?
Well, every Wednesday we have the Begin to Win in Elite Marketing Pro.
Okay.
And the past few months I've been doing the capture page training. So.
Yeah, it's just I've got so many different things going on like the same days. I'll look at it.
Yes, go into the my training.
Okay.
Go to the weekly Begin to Win, and the archives link is at the bottom of that page.
Okay. Okay, you keep cutting out. So also the Begin to Win.
And at the bottom of that page, there's the archives.
Okay. And it's on Wednesdays that you do that, though? At what time?
3 Eastern.
Okay, so that's 1 o'clock my time. Okay. I think I've got that on my phone. I've got a bunch that pop up, and I don't know. I'll get organized this year.
So here's my other tip for you, Michelle, is they do the Daily Dose of Awesomeness. The Daily Dose, Monday to Friday. Listen to it because they teach a lot of stuff. Sometimes
I get on those. Yeah.
Yeah, Vitaly jumps on it and talks about like things that we're sharing here,
Mhm.
you know, and even a lot more. So it's
Yeah.
so many trainers go there and teach and share stuff that sometimes you learn them, or they take pieces and that they teach at the workshops, and then they
Mhm.
share it there because they, you know, it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So,
Right. Yeah.
and
No. No, it's good stuff. I go on there and I just like pull content, just different ideas like JT. You know, I listen to whatever
oh
he's
yeah,
teaching.
he's
He's good.
it's crazy. Yeah, a lot of you know, he is um a leadership coach, right? He's like a
Mhm.
personal development coach type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Any
Yeah.
any other questions?
I'm gonna get started with that. Put something together this weekend.
All right. Awesome. Great. Awesome. Great.
I
Great.
know. I
Awesome.
was
So
gonna
take
hire
action.
you. I was like, oh, maybe I should have just hired Pedro to help me with my ads instead of flying to LA. Please point me in the right direction anyway.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. I think that you have a lot of training, and you know, we'll keep doing this, jumping on, and you know, share different stuff, and you know, it's, and then you got to do it, and you got to tweak it. But if
Yeah.
there, I'm telling you, go through the VIP training, go through it once, and then you say, oh my God, it's just crazy. But you might need to go through it more than once. You definitely
Yeah.
will. But you know, you got to just do one, go and take action. You know, if you're gonna create an ad, take action. You
Mhm.
know, and there's already copy in the Fernie's
Yeah.
link, and he has the links there that you can already give you like a base, or if you want to, just copy and put your image and do that
Yeah.
ad. Don't change anything and just test. For
Yeah.
$5 a day, you test and you see the results and understand the metrics, and then share it with submit it to the traffic coach. You
Okay.
know, and then they're gonna give you, okay, you know, they're gonna give you some, they're gonna help you. And I think people don't take advantage. I didn't take advantage of that. I'm telling you. And
Yeah.
I chose to pay like a lot more, but you know, obviously there's a lot more training, there's a little more hands-on. You know, we learn different stuff,
Right.
but you should take advantage of that, what's available, because
I
that
will.
that enough is awesome.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right.
Good
Okay,
to see you,
guys.
Julia. I'll hop on your next one on Wednesday.
All right. It was great. It was great being here with you guys, and we'll do this again soon.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.